Welcome to PAM Eastcoast LA. I am your host, Pamela Calas, and your host today has lost her voice. She apologizes, but sorry, not sorry, okay? Because I feel like I sound even sexier now than I did last week. How about that? Teddy, what do you think, baby?
I would have to agree. I'd have to confirm.
Thank you, because we just spoke for the first time 5 minutes ago. Tell us about yourself, baby.
Yes, well, I am Teddy Drummond, although my stage name I go by TeddyGreyiii, so if you're looking to find me on stuff, that's probably what you would look up to find. I am a singer-songwriter and actor, but for the purposes of this interview, more of a singer-songwriter. And I've been releasing albums and working on projects for a couple years now. I just released my newest one, which is a double concept album called The Great Failed Romances of the 20th Century, which takes 30 of the most iconic celebrity couples of the past and details their breakups and dedicates a song to each of them. And it's out now on Mother West Records.
That is awesome. I actually did read up on that. I watched your awesome video, Math.
Oh yes, Math and Science.
Math and Science. Yeah. It was actually so funny. I was like, this guy's like clever, the way you write. It's very clean. And it reminds me of like alternative. I don't know if you put yourself in that kind of genre, but that's what your music reminds me of.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. I don't typically put myself into one genre just because I like to hop around, but that song in particular is definitely like alternative for sure.
Okay, so where would you put yourself? Like if you had to pick a genre and be on the billboards for this type of music, what would you base yourself on?
I guess I would say singer-songwriter just because technically it's a genre, but it's vague enough that you could have like a track that is heavily featuring piano or guitar or electric guitar. It doesn't really say this sounds just like this. It could be a wide variety of things. So I guess I'd say singer-songwriter.
I love that. You're like the Carole King. I love Carole King. You know that she's old school. You know her?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. And I went to her concert and she was with James Taylor and it was phenomenal. The Troubadour in Chicago. It was awesome. So anyway, that being said, I absolutely love that because you didn't say pop, you didn't say rock, you didn't say alternative, singer-songwriter. You're the first to say that on the show, actually. Look at you being the first, Teddy. So let's talk about Grape Drink, Purple Drink Hour.
Let's do it.
What do we have today, my love? Please share with us. Tell us your concoction.
We have a very obscure, newly discovered drink known as the Jack and Coke. Jack Daniels.
And the Coke.
And Coca-Cola, yes.
And so, I just bought this bottle on behalf of you, my friend.
Well, thank you. And
you're very welcome. And when we talk, this bottle will be empty when we next talk.
I'm sure.
So I'm going to pour about this much. Is that good?
So, looks good. Yep.
Looks good, baby. Okay. What are you looking at when you're looking at? Are you looking at the computer or your phone?
I am looking at the computer. Yes.
Look. Okay. Are you looking in the eye of the computer? Look in the eye.
The eye of the computer. Okay.
Now it looks like you're looking at me.
Would you like me to look there instead of looking at you?
No, you can look anywhere, but now I can see you into your eyes.
Ah, yes.
He said, ah, yes. Okay, does this look good? Baby, this is your concoction. My first Jack and Coke.
It's true. I'm the person who invented it, actually.
That's what I'm talking about. And I just so happened to get the founder of Jack and Coke and bring him on the show. Because we're that good, folks.
Pretty big get.
Let me ask you, how'd you get started?
With Jack and Cokes or with music?
Music. With Jack and Cokes, sure. Tell me more.
Well, they're dependable, and they're the only drink that tasted as good to me at 16, 17, and still does years later. When I would drink little Fireball nips or whatever in high school, I can't drink those anymore. I can't stomach them. But Jack and Coke has been very reliable, so that's why. But in music, I got started because I grew up in somewhat of a musical family in that my dad is a record collector nerd. He would put on a stack of records every night, a stack of six. So music was just a constant in my house to the point where it was just always on and always there in the house, in the car, while we were doing whatever we were doing. So I didn't think at the time that that was setting me up to pursue music, but looking back on it, I think that's definitely where the obsession and wanting to learn more about music and musicians definitely came from. And then I took piano lessons at a young age, but didn't have
Okay.
the attention span for it and
Okay.
sadly stopped it after a couple of years. I wish I'd stuck with it, but
Because
then
it's
I
hard to
picked up,
carry a
yeah.
piano, right?
It is, it is. On your back, it can be very
Like big
painful.
keyboard.
Yeah. I noodle around on them now, but sadly never stuck with it. But then a few years later, sort of self-taught myself guitar and some bass, and
Okay.
used it really just as a vehicle to write songs. I don't have that much desire to be an amazing musician. It'd be nice, but really just what I want to do is use it so I have something to write songs on as a vehicle, because that's what I think of myself as, a singer and a songwriter. Musician would be a distant third.
Singing is your passion.
Oh, I love to sing. Love it.
Okay. Does your dad sing? Your mom?
Yeah, both my parents are good singers. They never pursued it or got any sort of training, but I would hear them singing around the house and playing the piano and singing along. And so, thankfully, when I decided to see whether or not I could sing, I had a pretty good indication that hopefully I would be able to, since both my parents could. And thankfully, that was true. And then I just kind of went from there and started doing local theater and
Okay.
musicals. And yeah, as a guy doing musical theater, you're always in high demand in small towns, so that allowed me
Yeah.
to,
I
yeah.
love musicals.
Oh yeah, I'm a big theater guy, big theater nerd in addition to music nerd.
Oh, I love it. I love theater. I love anything live actually. That's my I've missed trains here in New York just to watch somebody play the harmonica. I love it. It's my
Oh
favorite.
well.
Yeah, I love it. If you're talented, I'm supporting you. Like I want to support you from nothing. Nobody will remember you though, because you're just walking on by, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I know that I was there. Because you know how many people
Yeah.
have made it when somebody records somebody and they
It's true.
put them out there with a Instagram, or because TikTok wasn't a thing back in the day, but Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you certainly live in the right place to see those sorts of live performances and people on the subway playing the
I
harmonica.
know. So
Yeah.
you're born and raised here?
No, I'm actually I was born and raised in Massachusetts, and
Okay.
then went to New York for school for college. I went to Hofstra on Long Island, and then
Okay.
just made a bunch of trips to the city to see concerts and shows, and just sort of there was never a doubt in my mind that like this is where I want to end up, because like this is it. This is the center of the universe. This is where you got to be if you if you're following the dreams that I am anyway. I mean, it's not the place you got to be, but it's the place I needed to be.
Correct. Correct. And I know where you're going with that because that's how I feel.
Well, it's good. Yeah, no, it's always good that there are more places to get discovered and for that kind of thing to happen. It doesn't just have to be New York or LA. So yeah, that's great.
So tell me, like, you sold out a concert almost in Midtown?
Yeah, yeah, we sold out the show. We did an album release party show in Midtown at a place called Coast Studios, where you can rent out spaces to play shows. And so a friend of mine who plays on the album, Michael Lepore, and he produced it as well, booked the space because he had played a show there before. And thankfully, we sold out all our tickets. Although, granted, it's kind of a cheat because they do have a cap on the number of people that can be there because of COVID.
How many people are in your band?
Well, I play usually just as a solo artist, but we assembled a band for this show, and it was me and three others. I played guitar and sang, and then my friend Michael played guitar and sang harmonies, as well as doing some piano on certain songs. Then we had a bassist and a drummer, and that we worked with together for a couple rehearsals, and it went really well. So I think going forward, we definitely want to play more shows as a full band because it's such a different experience from performing solo. And I think I prefer playing with a full band immensely.
When you play solo, are you playing music from your CD? and it's your vocals?
I've done both. I've accompanied myself on acoustic guitar and then sung, and that's
Nice.
usually what I'll do. But there have been a couple times, depending on the environment or the venue, where I'll play the instrumentals of the songs and just sing over them, sort of like demented karaoke. So,
No, that's
which is
awesome.
also fun.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding me? I wish you could sing something right now. I
I
mean,
think I'd
I'm
blow out the
just
mic.
asking. I was just saying, like, I mean, it would be nice. I mean, I'm not making you or anything. It's not a big deal. It's just, I'm just-
I think I'd blow out the mic. I sing pretty loud.
oh shit, you're like one
Yeah.
of those. I have large lungs too.
Yeah, the rock voice.
Mm. When did you know? Basically, when did you know you made it? Like, do you work a regular job, or is this just your profession?
I wouldn't say that I definitely don't think that I've made it because I know someone who said that success is not a destination, it's a journey. I mean, I'm sure multiple people have said that, but one particular
Sure.
person said it to me. So I try to keep that in mind whenever I'm thinking like, oh, why am I not more successful yet or
Right.
whatever. But I guess the day that I got signed to a record label, that to me was a real indication of the fact that I had something and it just I had always hoped that or believed that. So having other people and a team of people believe in me as well made me stop questioning my abilities, I would say. And
Okay, so what's the record called? What's the record label called?
Mother West Records. It was
Nice.
originally it was based in Brooklyn, I believe, for years, and then recently it's moved out more to LA. But yeah,
Okay.
they press all around the country and
And
the
you're with
world.
them currently.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and they promote you. So is that how you get your followers? Your basically how you what's the word, baby? Hold on a second. Not to get your establishments, but like your performances and all that, or is it through them? Do they book all that for you? All your
Uh,
bookings?
no, some of it is done through them. There have been certain things that they set up, and then others that I set up on my own. I was lucky enough to have somewhat of a following already through stuff I had done in the past. Like the year before this, I had put out a mixtape called Rock and Roll McDonald's, which had the Math and Science song on it. And then before that, I put out in college, I put out a musical to YouTube. So I had gained some people through that, and then this just kind of brought it to hopefully a wider audience with the new album and with the label's assistance.
So what is your networking? You use Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram primarily, but I use Twitter. I'm on Facebook a little bit, not very
Okay.
much. Yeah, and then I'll just yeah, I'd say Instagram and Twitter are where you're most likely to find me.
No, I think that I have to get a Twitter account. I know I'm
No,
terrible.
it's if you don't have one, then you shouldn't because it's hell. It's terrible.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
worst.
Well, once
Oh,
you're in,
baby.
you come in, but you don't come out. So
Oh
I would say,
shit.
yeah,
Like,
it's a bit culty.
come here, you little.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh, you little. That's how I feel like. And I'm just like, oh, I'm coming. And then I'm screaming to get the hell out. And honey, like I told you, I got lungs, baby. You don't want me to
yeah.
scream. I'm not a singer. I'm a screamer. There's a big difference.
There are plenty of genres where screaming is all you need.
Mm, like call it like death metal, like that.
Yeah, yeah, death metal, screamo.
Death metal, right?
Yeah, join a death metal band.
How the hell do they do it, baby?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Sagapao. To keep your sound going, basically, are you gonna make any kind of changes? You have any these crazy ideas where you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna maybe go from alternative to something else, or maybe you're gonna start playing the piano, or
Yeah, I never try to set clear parameters around what I think I should be doing. It's sort of just with each new project I go into, I'm gonna go where it takes me. So for this last album, that brought me in more of like an indie rock direction, whereas
okay,
the album before that, it was more pop punk, and then for the musical it was more musical theater and comedy. So if the next album I do is more folky, then I'll just go in that direction. I try not to let myself get intimidated by the fact that I've never written songs in a particular style. I just try to go
Okay.
for it, and if it works out well, then it works out, and if it doesn't, then no one ever needs to hear it.
Are you 100% by yourself when it comes to writing your own stuff? Is this 100% you?
I write all my own stuff in the sense that I write all the songs on guitar, the melody, the lyrics, and I come up with basic ideas for the arrangement, and then I bring them to my friend Michael Lepore, who, like I said, produced the album, because he is a multi-instrumentalist par extraordinaire, which I am not, so he can help me bring my vision to its fullest potential, and I definitely wouldn't be able to do this stuff without him. And then the man who runs the label that I'm on, Charles Newman, produced the album, or he mixed it and mastered it. So I have those two people behind me, as well as some other guest musicians and vocalists that can really kind of bring my songs to, like I said, their fullest potential. So yes, I write everything, but in terms of polishing, I have a team
Polishing,
that helps
right.
me out. Yeah.
So what's your goal? What is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal.
Yes.
Um, to if I'm being honest, like my ultimate goal would just be to not have to do anything in my life that is not artistic. Like I have other side. Right now I'm primarily working as an artist and making most of my money through music and acting,
Okay.
but I still do side hustles. Like I do substitute teaching, and I work as a
Wow.
waiter. Yeah, I was just teaching today. So I would like to get to
Math
a point.
or science?
Thankfully, neither.
Are you
Thankfully,
serious? Oh, because
yeah.
I don't know what's going by this song. Dude.
No, I can't do math or science. And as the song
Is it
says,
English then?
if I were to teach a subject, it would probably be English
Okay.
or drama or music history or something of that. But thankfully, for my particular substitute teaching gigs, I don't really have to do that much teaching. They kind of just need a body in the room to monitor, which that I can
You
do.
just
That
throw
I
them a
can,
book?
yeah, that I can do. I can sit in a room and
Right, right, right. And get paid? Oh, yeah. You're probably
yeah,
writing music while they're all reading a book.
yeah, yep, or listening to it. Yeah, it's true.
Are they
But
allowed to listen to music in the class?
it depends on the school, and
Okay.
I'm kind of a lenient substitute teacher. So if they ask
Okay.
me, I'll let them do it, because chances are I want to be listening to the music too.
Right.
I shouldn't be saying this, but it's because
Shit, we'll edit it. Forget it. We'll edit it.
that's all right. That's all
We'll
right.
take it out. We'll take it
my,
out. I promise.
my
You hear
employers
that,
are
guys?
never gonna
Edit
watch
this
this.
shit. This never happened. No, 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 no. What kind of projects you got coming up? Anything? Or are you just cooling out now?
Well, I am sitting on the new album for a while because it's 30 songs, but my friend and I made a series of videos, one for each of the songs on the album, where we explain the context behind the song and the story of the couple behind it. So, like if it's the song about Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, we go into the history of them as a couple. And so I'll be releasing those videos about one per week for the next, I guess, 30 weeks, since there are 30 songs. So that'll be a way of continuing to sustain buzz and interest in this project. And then
That's
after that,
awesome.
yeah, after that, not really sure. Got a couple things that are sort of in the beginning of in the beginning stages, but I really need to just commit to another project and decide this is what I'm doing next. But there's no rush, because like I said, after releasing a double album, I feel content to just let that sit for at least a few weeks, few months. So
If somebody was just graduating high school, right? And they wanted to be a musician, what outlets would you tell them to use to basically, make it or start their followers? Would it just be Instagram and Facebook to you, or should they, I don't know, do you believe in, I don't know if they have like open mic nights, but what outlets would you recommend if you had to tell somebody that was just basically like, I need guidance, I want to start, what do I do? This is what I do. And you would
mhm.
say,
I suppose that it would depend on the kind of music they made. Like if they were releasing rap music, like mixtapes and things of that nature, then maybe they would want to go on to SoundCloud and promote it through there. If they were
okay,
making hyperpop, they could go through TikTok. If they were doing emo, they could try to find a community of people on Twitter. If they were doing country music, then maybe try to craft, like, I don't know, an aesthetically pleasing Instagram and go to Nashville, like we were saying earlier. So I would say there's not one clear avenue, and there certainly hasn't been for me, just because my music is sort of, in the sense that I can't really think of much that it sounds like, just because I genre hop so much. So I haven't tried to stay on one solid road. It's just kind of been like, no matter what turn I have to go down, even if this helps me a little bit, it'll probably be worth it. So yeah, I would say don't restrict yourself. Try to cast as wide of a net as you can.
Well, you answered that question, like you elaborated that question like to the fullest. I couldn't have asked a better person, I don't think. You should be
Thank
like
you,
a PR person or a social media person, babe.
that's
You're like, listen, what do you do? And I'll guide you there. I'll take you right there right now. Wait a minute.
if only I could guide myself better. I could use a
No, baby,
PR.
you're doing great. What do you try? What do you want from this then?
I mean, I would like a bigger. I think I'd like what most musicians would like. I'd like a bigger following. I'd like more people to hear my work, and even if they didn't like it, be able to hear it and make an opinion about it. That would be my biggest thing, is just getting it out to as wide of an audience as I could. And I would rather be rejected than ignored. Like, obviously everyone wants to be embraced, and everyone
Right,
wants everyone to love their stuff. But for me,
right.
I would much rather prefer someone tell me, I tried it and this is not my thing, rather than them never having the chance to decide whether or not it is. So yeah, I want everyone to hear it. I want the whole world.
Hell yeah. Very well put together, actually. I think I'd want somebody to watch this and be like, but acknowledge and watch it. And like you said, give an opinion. Tell me how I could be better,
Yeah, and a
you
view is a
know?
view. One more view or one more stream, they add up.
It adds up because that's what life is all about now, right?
Yeah, for
It's
better or
all
worse.
about how many followers you have and how
Yeah,
many people view your stuff. And it is very important. And so
yeah.
I do want that for you, my love. And is there anything else you would like to add to today's episode?
Um, no, I guess just stream The Great Failed Romances of the 20th Century, or buy it. It's available on CD too. Actually, hold on, I have the CD right here. Let me grab it.
Please show
Yeah.
us.
Yes, for this album, was finally able to make physical copies of it. So I think it's reversed.
Oh, that
So
is so cute.
we did a big double CD, and there's custom artwork for
I
each of the
love that,
30
like
songs.
comic.
Yeah, yeah, it was drawn by a friend of mine, Patrick Messer, who drew one drawing for each of the 30 songs.
Oh,
But
that
it's a
is
nice little,
awesome.
yeah, it's a nice little double package.
Let me
Yeah.
see that. Put it right into the thing. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It looks awesome. I love it. I love your artist. He's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell him.
Well, he better watch this shit. Are you
Oh,
crazy?
he will. Yeah. Well, he did the drawings inside, and then Kate Therian, who I was put into contact with through my label, did the cover and the packaging. So
Okay, well, I love her too then. How about that? You tell her to watch this
oh, I will.
because we both need followers and we need views.
Yes.
And
I'll make them all.
I only take beautiful people on my show. And I really appreciate you coming on. It was such a pleasure.
Of
You're so
course.
sweet. I could even hear it in your music. And the one thing I will say about your music, it is very clean. There's no profanity.
There's some
There's no real
profanity.
profanity, if that makes sense. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not rated X.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some profanity, but it's
Some
definitely not.
profanity.
It's not.
You hear the word ass,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. There's
Yeah.
profanity like PG-13.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
Nothing wrong with a little PG-13. Come on.
Nah. Yeah. Of course not.
We need to do PG-8 now. PG-8, everybody. 8-year-olds are saying ass. What's the big deal? It's just an ass.
They
Who
certainly
says
are.
butt anymore? Come on.
They certainly are. I hear it in my substitute teaching.
That's what I'm saying. You're going into like third grade. They're like, bitch, who you looking at? You're like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
Relax. Everything's gonna be okay. You shut up too. Can you imagine? Can
Yeah,
you imagine?
they're pretty ruthless.
Man, they got no filter and they have no fear. Kids today do not have a fear. I was
It's true.
scared, terrified.
I
Scared the
was.
teacher would tell my mama something.
Oh,
What?
me too.
My mom would cut me with her eyes. Are you kidding me? She did what? Like, I love you. Like, no.
Yeah, I was also very scared of getting in trouble, but thankfully I've overcome that to a
Yeah, that's
certain
what I'm
degree.
talking about.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of my mother though. Don't get that twisted now. I will always be scared of her.
Oh yeah, that'll
I
be.
don't cross her. I'm telling you, she cuts me with her eyes. I don't even have her eyes. I only have her hair. That's it. Thank you for coming on. It has been such a pleasure. Sagapao. That means I love you in Greek, by the way.
Thank you. Pleasure,
Sagapao.
pleasure to be on.